The market is a very interesting mechanism. It's a mechanism that could potentially reward those with patience and discipline and are modest human beings. And yet at the same time, it really could eat arrogance and cockiness alive. So those who are arrogant in their day-to-day, they should really lower their gears from 5 to 1 and go into the state of modesty, because otherwise the market would be very cruel to them, to say the least. I wanted to tell you about an experiment that they've made. It's a very interesting experiment. They basically took a bunch of people, divided them into groups of 2. So it was one opponent against the other, and they gave them the Monopoly board. They gave one person, one of the opponents, 1 dice, and they gave the other person 2 dice. Clearly, those who had 2 dice obviously had an advantage of going through the board faster, acquiring more things. But here's an interesting thing that have happened along the way. As the game progressed and the people with the 2 dice were winning, they started putting down their opponent, saying that they don't think they're going to win. They think they're going to lose in this game. They were kind of vocal about it. And as they gained more assets, although they were fictitious assets, they became a little bit more cocky, right? So it's interesting because at the end of the game, when they won, the researcher asked them, "What do you think made you win?" Everybody said different things, but no one said that they had 2 dice and had the advantage. And it's very interesting about human nature that when we win things, we think we're entitled to them and we deserve them, although at times we could have an unfair advantage. Now, many times in the marketplace, the market can reward you in very big ways. Even though you could be a beginner, you could just be starting out, you could be doing things that are rewarding for a long time. It does not mean that you're a good trader. It means that the market is playing in your favor. But what happens along the way, people develop this arrogance and they believe they're entitled to it and they believe that they're better than other traders. And with short-term rewards, they start thinking, well, I know this guy's been doing it for 15 years. I've been reading about him, and this guy's been doing it for a year or 20 years or this or that. But I'm better than them. I'm actually, making much higher returns. What those traders don't realize is that not only that the market is playing in their favor, but they're also using leverage that other people do not. So they take much higher type of, I would say, as I said, leverage. And with that comes obviously higher reward. So in shares, it could be trading in margins. In futures, it could be a large number of contracts. In Forex, it could be just a big notional amount. The market plays in their favor and they win. And they could win for quite some time. But I assure you that this all comes to a halt and all the gains that they've made get erased. Again, it's because of this arrogance that they develop along the way. They do things that essentially make them lose the money, whether the market of the structure changes or whether they think they could trade even with higher leverage. They're starting to make bets that they didn't before. When they lose, they try to recover it even with a bigger bet, and under the right market conditions, the market can actually play along and give them returns and help them recover. But again, this is not a strategy for the long haul. Being arrogant and cocky, over leveraging yourself, thinking that you're better than any other player in the marketplace, in a marketplace that has a lot of professional players, smart players. So you got to swim with them a little bit and you enjoyed a little bit of a short-term win, but you have to think, okay, who is the opponent here? Even though I'm making, who is the opponent? Who is on the other side? What do I need to do to really consistently gain in this game? The arrogant don't think that way. The arrogant think that this will last forever. They think that they can take on the same level of risk again and again and again, and the market will reward them. I know that somebody's listening to this and says, yes, I was there before. I totally understand what you're talking about. So hopefully you'll take some of my advice and to tell you this, that when you approach the markets, approach it with humility. The market is built of a lot of professionals. They're very smart. The smart people in this business are not only the people that are been doing this for a very long time, but it could be newcomers. And newcomers, some of them are self-educated. They put things in Excel. They look at numbers. Some of them trade directly with a feed and API. They apply math and models. I know that because I have some of those customers. And I talk to them and I understand how they think. And their level of trading is completely different than others in terms of the tools that they apply. But most important, I will tell you about them is this, that they all have humility. You know, when I talk to them about risk, they don't brush me off. They don't say, yeah, I understand. They really engage in this discussion because it's a very interesting topic to them. The topic of, risk management and position sizing. So, what I want you to take out of this about, the people who are doing well in this business is not necessarily, I don't want to send you learning Excel or learning to program. I believe that you can be successful also with applying, the tools that are available on a platform, whether it's technical analysis or volume profile or whatever you use. I believe that the tools are out there. But the one thing to learn from all of this is not to develop at any point in time, even if the market plays along with you, even if you have prolonged returns, always stay humble. It doesn't matter if you were profitable for 1 day, 1 week, 1 year, or a decade. Stay humble. Remember that success is something that takes a very, very long time to build. And a disaster takes only one thing. It takes only one thing to make a case into a disaster scenario. So again, stay humble, don't become cocky or arrogant. Every single day, analyze what you did, don't over leverage, and hopefully that would help you in your trading. I wish you a good day. I wish you a great week. Check us out at www.optimusfutures.com. We'd love to help you with your futures trading. We look forward to hearing from you. And always a reminder, there's a substantial risk of loss in futures trading. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Don't trade with capital you can't afford to lose. If you have capital that you cannot afford to lose, wait, until you build your risk capital and then start playing in leverage markets such as futures. I wish you all the best. Again, a great day and a great week, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Thank you.